Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
But I would still like to be excited about the Hall of Fame. But if I look at Jeremy Roenick, stick with me. And you too, son. As Colonel Parker said to Elvis, my boy.
My boy.
You pay attention, my boy. Jeremy Roenick played 1,363 games. 1,363. He had 1,216 points. Henrik Sedin played 1,330 games, almost identical. 1,330 versus 1,070 points. Henrik Sedin wasn't even a point-a-game guy. Nor was Jeremy Roenick, but Roenick's numbers are way better than Sedin's, and Sedin got in. Neither one has a Stanley Cup. Theo does, and Theo's an over-a-point-a-game guy. And throw in the Olympic gold and the World Men's Championships and the World Juniors too. I'm starting to think, so it's not just Theo. JR's battling some sort of stigma or something.
Yeah.
Because JR should probably be in the Hockey Hall of Fame too. And I'm like, so basically this, I believe the guy's name was Brad that sent it to me. I don't know him, but I'm like, I'm kind of turning a little bit in my interest on the Hockey Hall of Fame then. If guys that should be in aren't in for whatever reason, ignorance, the stigma with Theo, or a grudge or ego, which I'm assuming is JR's, I'm not as interested as I used to be. How about that?
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
The computer has the Hamilton Tiger Cats getting off the snide and beating the Edmonton Elks 24-18. Who do you think wins between Saskatchewan and Montreal based on computer simulation?
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, 23-21. Riders favored by 5 at home over Montreal. Deal or no deal?
I'm going to go no deal. I'm going to take the Owls.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Hello, Canada, and our good friends, Canadian sports fans in the United States of America. It is the RP Show. We're emanating live from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino Event Center. It is our Friday. It's Canada Day on Friday. So on this Thursday episode, it's our last of the week. So listen up. Make it good. We have the Moose with us, Darren Moose Dupont. How you doing, Moose?
I'm doing great. How are you?
What's with the Saskatoon Blades golf shirt today? What's special occasion?
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day, first of all, so the nice weather. But then last day of the junior hockey season was last night, so I thought I'd pull out the junior hockey.
Yeah. You've been reading my diary? That's in the Quick Six Show topics there. Yeah, we got to get Wasey Rabbit on the air. The newest assistant coach of the Saskatoon Blades, and his lovely wife, Ashley Callingbull, model, don't you know?
Yeah.
Now an ambassador with the Blades and the Saskatchewan Rush. So good for you for wearing your Blades gear. Hey, guys, how's it going? The security staff has showed up. Do we need to know something? Are we good? Okay. All right. Dion says we're good. All right. Can you hit the Quick Six show horn, please? Director Jordan, please, and thank you. Thank you. By the way, I should mention a late scratch. Jeff Reinbold is a late scratch. The iconic CFL coach not only won't be with us today, won't be with us for at least another year because he has taken a job with Major League Football. That's the league, right, Clark? Major League Football? At least that was the report. Yes, MILF. Major League Football. Hey, that is the kind of league I think that I could support. Major League Football, MILF, and they have told Jeff Reinbold that he cannot discuss Canadian Football League ball on any other network or with anybody. How do you feel about that?
You know, probably a good idea. I mean, you want your coaches to coach and, be part of your league and, picking a lane. So that'll be interesting. But congratulations to the coach. He's earned it.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, Jeff owes us no explanation. He doesn't need to explain himself to anybody. But Coach Reinbold, as we were just getting going, unfortunately can't join us any longer. But I guess it's good for him that he's joined MILF. Major League Football. So AJ Jakubec is going to be with us. He's the voice of the Ottawa REDBLACKS. He's also the voice of the 67s junior hockey team. He's the pre- and post-game host of the Ottawa Senators. So the guy's got a lot to talk about. AJ Jakubec on game day in Ottawa will be with us. And Jabari Arthur, the former Kansas City Chief wide receiver and Calgary Stampeder, will be with us right down here at Grey Eagle in hour 2. So that's exciting. Did I ask for the horn? Can you play the horn again, Director Jordan, please and thank you? Did he hit it? I don't think he did. I can't remember. It hasn't been the best day, but it's the second time. Okay. Jordan just said, yeah, I'm ready for the weekend. How about you?
Yeah.
I am. It's spiritual day in Canmore on Friday.
Ooh.
You're coming with me.
Okay.
And we're going to open your eyes a little bit.
All right.
To the not that they're closed, right. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun out in Canmore on Canada Day. That's what we're going to do. Number 1 point. It is today the first day without hockey. The St. John Sea Dogs are the 2022 Memorial Cup champions. Cam McDonald had a goal and 2 assists as the Sea Dogs down the Hamilton Bulldogs 6-3 to win the title. St. John was ousted from the Q playoffs in the first round, but earned a spot in the CHL championship as host of the team. We didn't get that post out about Gardner McDougall's hairline this morning. We were going, or did we?
No,
it's ready to go.
It's coming.
It's ready to go.
Yeah,
the guy with the hairline from God. Gardner McDougall, the head coach. I mean, what a story. Listen, you people, I could sit and do a 2 to 3 hours show a day on junior hockey. Yeah. I swear to God, I could. Let's talk about Gardner McDougall for a second, who was in the SJHL, Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, for 5 years in the early 90s. I never crossed paths with him. My dad would have known him for sure. But the guy's coached 7 university cups, championships in St. John with the Reds. And, they lose out in the first round of the playoffs. They fire their coach. They bring in the local hero. You know, and trying for the American viewers, I'm trying to think of it would be the NFL team was hosting the Super Bowl and they got an automatic bye, but they missed the playoffs. So they fire the coach and bring in the local college coach.
Yeah,
because that's what happened.
Yeah,
he had 38 days to turn the team around, and I was watching the game, and as were you. And again, I could go on this. I know it's CFL game day, and I'll get to the rest of it. But this is my passion. And Kevin Sawyer said, this guy came in here, Gardner McDougall, the local guy, and he said, the number one thing I need to instill is trust. And he did it in 38 days. And to be honest, as a guy that was a part of a couple of Memorial Cups, so we hosted twice with the Pats, neither time won. I'm literally sitting there with God's team going, what do we have to do to win a Memorial Cup? You know, hosting, it's supposed to be the easy way, you know. Yeah. God knows we weren't going to do it the hard way. And couldn't do it. So what this says to me, and you got that Blades shirt on, they did the same.
Yeah.
The exact same thing for the Blades. They're probably thinking, what do we got to do to win a cup? I guess fire your coach when you toe pick it in the first round and do a face plant. That's my point. Every other copycat, we were just talking about it last night, the copycat nature of sports. Now, if some host team loses out in the first round or misses the playoffs, the coach is always going to be fired.
Now that's the case.
Right.
The precedent has been set for a Memorial Cup host. But, you know, you look at the Regina Pats, they lost out the first round, didn't they, to Swift Curtin, a 7-game series, really close. Stuck with their group, obviously, was the right choice. They got to the...
I'm not saying they should.
No, I know. Of course we're not. But it's just, what a story. And, you know, for him to come in and he just won the university championship and he's got the Memorial Cup now, too. He was excited, like really genuinely excited. It was fun to watch him throughout the tournament.
This is the time for Moose and I not answering questions of the viewers. I apologize for that. At least in this segment, the warm-up. Both our guests are going to be pushed into hour 2, so we can get to your questions later on this hour, but not now. And again, I can talk about hockey, junior hockey. I can play it any way you want. Defensive style, river wagon hockey, you tell me, up and down the ice. But hockey's over. Cavendish Farms has brought you our junior hockey coverage. Cavendish Farms, proud supporters of junior hockey in Canada. By the way, that coach that I mentioned yesterday that made the Europeans speak English on the bus was watching. He texted me last night and he goes, I'm watching on the PVR. Were you talking about me? I guess I was. But in case I was wrong, I didn't name you. He's like, no, it was me and here's why I did it. Memory like steel trap.
Yeah.
Our hockey coverage is also brought to you by Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, the preferred plumbing, heating, and cooling company of the RP Show. To schedule maintenance or to learn more about our services, call 306-781-2090 or visit us at broncoplumbing.com. Love that place. Love those people. Love their continued partnership of this program. And go read my commentary at rodpeterson.com or runs on the radio in Saskatchewan today. Hockey's in great shape. We don't need a summit. We don't need to tweak the rules. We don't need to beg people to come to games. The Junior A championship we were at in Estevan, sold out. Things are great with hockey, so put your feet up. Enjoy the summer. We'll see you in the fall. Fair?
Yeah.
Or at next week's draft. To point two, Nathan Rourke and the BC Lions are looking to continue their hot start in Ottawa against the REDBLACKS to open Week 4 in the CFL. Rourke set a CFL record for single-game passing yards by a Canadian quarterback last week as the Lions torched the Argos 44-3 and improved to 2-0. The REDBLACKS, meanwhile, are 0-2. They're coming off a bye. By the way, I could sit here and talk for about the CFL games for 2 hours, 3 hours. I can play it any way you want. Defensive hockey, fire wagon hockey, you tell me. Pond hockey, whatever you want. I'm reading the game notes. It's our poll question today about Nathan Rourke. Is he the real deal? For Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center with dealerships all across the prairies, including Calgary and Edmonton. Is he the real deal? I haven't voted on the poll yet. I did tweet it. Do you have a sample size, Clark, on YouTube yet? What are they saying on there? No sample size yet, says Clark on the poll. 80% on Twitter, however, saying, yes, he's the real deal. I was reading the game notes for this weekend. I think I'm going to vote yeah. I think I'm going to vote yes. I've been doing some thinking about this, Darren.
Okay.
When I say what's changed between Brandon Bridge, the guy that I know real well, to Nathan Rourke, why the furor? Country was ready to bust out for Air Canada, too. Brandon Bridge, they were. But he didn't seize the brass ring when it was presented to him. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes, and I know why. Rourke has seized it. That's the difference. Fair?
Absolutely. And I look at this, and you can get clouded by numbers, right? I mean, you look at wins and losses, that's one thing. Yards is something, touchdowns is another. But when you look at Nathan Rourke, he's putting it all together. You know, he's throwing for 300 and 400 yards per game. His completion percentage is extremely high, in the 80%. I think it was 88% the other game.
Highest ever, like in back-to-back games.
So he's not just airing it out and connecting on a bunch of deep passes. He's connecting on a lot. He's making smart choices. He's not turning the ball over. And then he's also, you know, you see quarterbacks rack up yards, but one touchdown. He's putting up 3-4 touchdowns a game through the air. That tells me he's succeeding at finishing it off. And then rushing touchdowns. Well, quarterbacks have rushing touchdowns, a yard here, 2-yard rushing touchdowns here. Now, his rushing touchdowns are 12 yards, 18 yards, 22 yards, 15 yards. He's the real deal. He's putting it all together. There's no fake numbers here. You see a lot of fake numbers in the media now. There's nothing fake about what Nathan Rourke's doing.
No, so you're voting yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we'll be watching tonight. I don't know where, but we'll find a place to watch. I want to watch the Lions and the REDBLACKS.
Yeah.
You know, and the article that's at top article at rodpeterson.com right now is REDBLACKS versus Nathan Rourke. And that's not the case. Of course, he's not one guy. And I sit here and wonder if too much pressure is being heaped on this kid. But I don't think that it is. It's just been fun to watch. But again, reading the game notes, and I'm such a stickler and I love the game notes. CFL does a wonderful job. They do. Always have, of sending out the preview of the week. And when you talk about his completion percentage of 88%, no quarterback in CFL history, forget about the Canadian thing, no quarterback has had that high of completion percentage in 2 straight weeks. He beat Ricky Ray. It was 84%. Ricky Ray held the record. Now he's 88%. It's only 2 games, but the country's grasping this, and I love it. They're all going to be tuned in. The Lions were the highest rated game on television last week.
Yeah.
It just annoys me. I'll never get it. Canadian quarterback, the distinction. We do in the NHL say highest scoring American of all time. Mm-hmm. But we don't on a game by game basis talk about a guy's nationality. But it's just a CFL thing.
I think there was probably a time when you did. You know, when a European first came over and it was like, oh, he's doing this. Or we've seen it with race, right? First black athletes in different sports. get singled out all the time until it became such a normal thing that it
Alex
wasn't.
Ovechkin scored the most career goals by a Russian in NHL history. When have the last of you heard that?
No, you haven't. But I don't know who the first Russian to come across was.
Sergei Makarov with the Calgary Flame.
But now it's so normal that Europeans do well in the NHL. It'll become normal, hopefully. That's the idea. Hopefully it becomes normal in the Canadian Football League.
Back to the member for a second. Nelson Hakowich, our VP of Sim Events, writes in and says, does it taint the tournament that the host team has appeared in the last 4 finals / the well-rested team gets the worm? No. We can argue this 16 ways from Sunday. No, it creates local interest. My God, we were in Estevan when the Bruins were out of the Centennial Cup. The whole buzz in the whole city went down. It's a great thing that the host team's been in the final. It tells you they're good enough to be there. No, and I'm not getting angry at you, Nelson, but I'm seeing this going around social media now. Ways to tweak the Memorial Cup tournament. Stop! Some really smart guys started this format in 1980, I believe, with the host team and the 3 league champions. Can we just quit fiddling with stuff? It's not broken. Please, it hurts my heart. Almost as much as people saying, we need to rename the Norris and the Hart and the Smythe trophies because people don't know who these guys are. That's their problem. They're named that. Go figure out who Conn Smythe is. Or last night, as they said on the Memorial Cup broadcast, the Stafford Smith trophy. Did you hear that? I'm like, it's Smythe. The old man yells at clouds. I've become that guy. They've asked me here, we haven't weighed into much of the Hockey Canada talk at all with the sponsorship and so forth. Randy from Winnipeg writes in, well, first, John in Edmonton said, do you think that the scandal will affect the World Juniors in Red Deer and Edmonton, which, it's not in Red Deer at all, right? It's only in Edmonton. I don't think it will. Randy in Winnipeg says it's nice some of these big corporations taking action against sports sex scandals. Too many teams, they brush it under the carpet and plead the fifth. Randy from Winnipeg, here's my take on this, and I've never said it before. I saw Hustler was going pretty deep on this last week on his show, Andrew Hustler Patterson, Winnipeg Sports Talk. I know Hockey Canada is being dragged through the mud for their handling of this scandal which happened in London, Ontario. Very similar to what happened with Chicago Blackhawks. This is my take. It has been, and you will agree because we've talked about it off the air. I just haven't said it on the air. Did they botch it? Yes. Did the Blackhawks handle it? Yes. But the organization, the institution, is not the culprit. The players are in the London situation. The coach was in the Chicago Blackhawks situation. My God, I've mishandled and bumbled so many things in my life. We all expect you to be perfect, but when at least they're trying to draw in court of damn Hockey Canada, it's not their fault. They didn't want this to happen. Yeah, and what would you do? I mean, I like what Scott Smith said before the standing committee when he said, we didn't sweep this under the rug. We've been dealing with it every day for 4 years. That's not sweeping it under the rug. So my thing is, I just think Hockey Canada is being unfairly maligned. Did they botch it? Yes. I'm not arguing that at all. But again, you're not prepared for something like this. They expect perfection out of the institution. They're not the culprits. The players are. Now, should they be getting off scot-free to the degree that they are? Probably not. But we're talking about Hockey Canada here, not the players. And I don't think we'll ever find out who the players are. Like a guy texted me, a hockey guy, goes, who are the players? I said, I don't know, and I don't want to know. I got fired from my last job over gossip. I don't want to know. I have no idea who the guilty players were. I don't even feel like it's anybody's business. Do you? There's a legal matter.
Well, it's a legal matter, and that's part of the controversy, right? Is who are these players, and are they just, pay a little money and get off scot-free kind of, and get to go on? And I assume, but again, what happens when you assume, but that they're probably in the NHL, and we don't know who they are, right? But maybe having success, but again, you're not gonna. I don't know if you're gonna see the names come out, because that's why you pay the sum of money, right? If the names are going to come out and there's going to be a more of an investigation of these other things, then that settlement goes away or comes back and to a different dollar figure, and it's really messy. But we are, how we react to things, I think, right, and how we handle situations. So this situation was kind of it was kind of out of Hockey Canada's control. They dealt with it one way. Now you're getting a little bit of backlash. Well, Hockey Canada will be judged on how they handle this, how they react to it. And I believe in, growing and how do they I'm not
applauding the sponsors for pulling the pin or pausing their sponsorship. I'm not. They're covering their own ass is what they're doing. And believe me, as a guy who's been in situations, they're jumping out of the foxhole with Hockey Canada. That's what they're doing. These are supposed to be partnerships. They're doing what's best for themselves and leaving Hockey Canada flapping in the wind. So I don't see what's admirable about that. Distancing themselves from it. Anyways, I haven't talked about this at all since it came up, and this is the first. I know we're over time for a break. We're only 2 points into the quick six, so we'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network, available all across Alberta and BC on TELUS Optic TV. We're also live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Calgary, Alberta, here they come. Welcome your Bull Riders!
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Peterson Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Peterson Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Peterson Show.
We are live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. I want to tell you as well, for the love of burritos, it's buy one, get one burrito half off at Taco Time every Thursday. I think there's a chance that we might take that in. Moose, what do you say as Darren Moose DuPont rejoins? Although our guy Lee here in town wants to go for coffee this afternoon. Okay. So many options. It's always great to have options.
It's amazing to have options, yeah.
Well, he's not the biggest junior hockey fan, Lee, but he wanted to watch the Memmer final last night. He's a way bigger CFL fan. So I think we got to go watch this Nathan Rourke kid.
With kickoff?
I got to say 5 Mountain, I would think. 5:30?
Probably.
We'll have an extra burrito and wait if we're early.
There you go.
So that's the poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Is Nathan Rourke the real deal, the quarterback of the BC Lions? Not only is he the biggest story in the CFL so far this season, he is the story. And last I saw, 80% on Twitter saying, yes, he's the real deal. 91.9% on YouTube saying, yes, he's the real deal. So, hey, we got to tune in tonight to see if he continues the road to Canton. Hey?
Well, the big thing for me with Nathan Rourke is going to be, how does he handle the first bit of adversity? You know, when we see it all the time, when you're going 100%, and I'm a 100% guy, where I have struggle in moderation, right? I'm either 100% all in or all out. And so he's doing this 88% completion percentage. But if he goes 0 for his first 5 tonight, or he goes 1 for 7 with an interception, mentally, how does he adjust to that, and can he get back on track? That's what I'm looking forward to seeing, right? Is what is his mental resilience when things go bad?
And yeah, we're going to move on to the Blue Jays thing, but it is a CFL game day. It's a Canadian sports show. So I'm thinking, well, a couple things. One, we had our guy, Brandon Bridge. He played for a lot of CFL teams, Canadian quarterback from Mississauga. It was southern Mississippi, I think he played collegiate ball at. But anyways, the whole country was primed to get behind Brandon Bridge, Air Canada. And his big start was at Mosaic Stadium against Montreal. And first play of the game, he unfurls an 80-yard pass deep, and the receiver drops it. I can't remember who the receiver was. And it screwed up Brandon for the whole game. He admitted afterwards. It was the first pass, perfect dime. But Brandon just didn't have that physical makeup. Now, it's not all Brandon's fault. He knew that if he screwed up, he was going to be pulled next series. Now, it's a little bit of on Chris Jones. But he could have had these accolades, is my point. And he didn't meet the bell when it rang. Nathan Rourke is. So far. And that's the wonderful thing about the Canadian Football League. They're always searching for something that's going to turn this country on, and it appears to be Nathan Rourke. So can we get him a deal? So if Brandon Bridge was Air Canada, is he going to be WestJet? Or
yeah, right.
How's that not happened yet? You got to rely on me for all the nicknames and all the cool marketing chutzpah?
WestJet's good. He's on the West Coast.
Of course.
Pretty good.
Tell the world, start spreading the news. The quarterback of Nathan Rourke's nickname will now be WestJet. And speaking of, by the way, I got what we thought was a scoop this morning. Moose was with me as we were walking over here to the event center. I got a call from a guy who had a contact at Air Canada who said the Alouettes' flight's been canceled because of all the gong show that's going on with Air Canada. And he goes, put it out there. It's going to affect Saturday's game. I did. Put it on Twitter, and the Alouettes DM'd me within seconds. They're like, we don't use Air Canada. Noted. So I deleted the tweet, went on there, said, apologies, incorrect info, as you were. I apologize for it. Yeah. And I texted my guy back, and he's like, I think I'll be calling my contact at Air Canada.
So it happens.
It happens. Open and closed. The old me wouldn't have apologized, believe me, because nobody does in today's world. But I did. Oh, no. Dale in Winnipeg writes in and he says, hello, crew. Small setback. Durango written off. 8-seater turned into, well, less. Camping still happening. I'm determined. Yeah, enjoy, y'all. Listen, as a guy that's been in multiple motor vehicle collisions and you almost died in a single vehicle, right?
2.
Twice, as long as everybody's okay, it's just a car. Dale, glad you're with us. Thanks for watching. Our guy in Winnipeg. I don't like to hear that, of course. But just, you know it.
Yeah.
All that matters is that you're safe. Dougal Cameron here in Calgary writes in. He says, I gave up my Stampeder season tickets this year after 30 years for many different reasons, but I'm going to buy a ticket to see Nathan Rourke when he comes to town. Thank you, Dougal, for pointing that out, because last night I'm laying in bed thinking about this. I'm like, this guy sells tickets. Like, I can't wait for kickoff, and I don't care about the BC Lions or the Ottawa Redblacks. I don't care. I want to see how this kid does.
Yeah.
He's going to be filling stadiums. He's the John Lennon of quarterbacks. Right?
Yeah, he is.
Write that down.
Like, that's pretty cool. You better write that down. I got to remember to turn that into a meme later today.
Dan, the Jets fan in Winnipeg, writes in, and he says, I think this is the demise of Hockey Canada, unfortunately. Stop. The players are the culprits, not Hockey Canada. The Blackhawks scandal was not the demise of the Chicago Blackhawks. I've worked with Hockey Canada. I've worked for Hockey Canada, represented Hockey Canada. They are, I realized that when I got involved with them, like the 33rd NHL team. They didn't handle it appropriately. The Chicago Blackhawks didn't handle it appropriately. We all can acknowledge that. I think they've acknowledged they could have handled it better. And I don't want to spend the whole show on this. And by the way, we have the viewers from America writing in going, what are you talking about? Google it. Just go Google Hockey Canada scandal. I'll say it again. I'm not bailing on Hockey Canada because of this. And their sponsors are. And I don't see what's admirable about that. The sponsors are doing what's best for themselves. People are trying to cancel Hockey Canada. You can't cancel Hockey Canada, just like you can't cancel the Chicago Blackhawks or any other institution or team that gets involved in a scandal. That's not to minimize the scandal. Believe me. Can I move on, or do you have any more thoughts on that?
Just the last is, we just will continue. You got to continue to monitor how they're going to deal with this.
Yeah.
And you could be like Dan Snyder in Washington and just be on a boat and be like, I'm not dealing with it. And that you can't support. But, all indications, the Blackhawks dealing with it, trying to, correct or
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you could be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
We are back live at Great Eagle Resort and Casino. As Moose just said in the break, we are at the mercy of the building. We just had a little bit of an internet switch off. I don't know what the deal is. They pay me to just sit here and talk. Moose, I'm going to jump into a sports update, okay? So look pretty for a second.
Okay.
The National Lacrosse League has announced that Zach Currier of the Calgary Roughnecks has won the NLL Transition Player of the Year award. Mitch DeSnoo of the Toronto Rock claimed the Defensive Player of the Year award. And Buffalo Bandits netminder Matt Vink earned his NLL record 8th Goalie of the Year honors as the league continued its unveiling of the 2021-22 award winners this week. Struggling lefty Yusei Kikuchi starts today as the Blue Jays open a rare 5-game series against the visiting Tampa Bay Rays, including a doubleheader on Saturday. Kikuchi, who signed a 3-year, $36 million contract with the Jays in the offseason, hasn't lasted beyond the 5th inning in any of his 5 starts in June. And Sue Bird is now the WNBA's leader in career wins with 324 after her Seattle Storm beat the Las Vegas Aces 88-78 on Wednesday. This sports update brought to you by Ballers Rec Room, your official home of Slow Pitch, open Wednesday to Sunday for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. We're all kind of out of order. My third point, if we can bring the Moose back in now, was about the Blue Jays and Red Sox tensions at Rogers Center last night. You see Vladdy was going off, coming out of the bullpen after Nick Pivetta. But all that matters is that the Red Sox won to avoid the sweep, and now we move on to today's game against the Tampa Bay Rays. That was that. Point 4 is the NFL. We were supposed to hear by the end of yesterday, we thought was the guideline on Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland Browns quarterback, and we didn't hear what was going on there. And I'm sitting there, Darren, just saying, hey, as an NFL, a league that we talk about being a 12-month league, what really is going on there in the NFL? Besides Deshaun Watson, I don't see anything.
That's the big one right now. This is the break. So right now we're seeing it with NFL personalities. This is the chance to take a holiday, and they do that. You know, broadcasters take a little bit of a holiday. We're seeing the players. This is your last chance to relax, because when you get into July, you got to start ramping up, and in August camps and everything open up, and away you go. And then it doesn't stop. So this is, if there was a time where the NFL shut the lights off and the office phones weren't being answered, this is it. End of June, beginning of July.
And I'm sure they don't like the fact that the only story that's out there is the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, which the NFL the NFL has suggested to their own top disciplinarian that this guy be suspended for a year.
Yeah.
It's the only thing out there, and we sit here and we wait. So that rolls over into point 5, and trust me, I will get back to the viewer comments in a moment. But point 5, Darren, was the fact that it's Canada and it's summertime, and it's beautiful outside. This, quite frankly, is a time where the CFL should have center stage. And to be honest, I was working out this morning. I was watching Sportsnet. Nice work with your... did you just kick your headphones off your head?
I did.
That's quite a trick, man.
That was pretty crazy.
What a job, by the way. He's sitting here barefoot. You can't see it, but his feet got tangled up in the cord, and he pulled them out of his ears. Crazy. You couldn't do that twice if you tried.
I couldn't do it again.
Nope. So anyways, I'm working out this morning, and I'm watching Sportsnet. They had a really nice feature on Nathan Rourke and the BC Lions going at Ottawa. You know what they called him? The Lions King.
Well, that's good,
I like
too.
WestJet better.
Do we got to do a poll on nicknames?
What's the better nickname? WestJet, that's mine, or Lions King? That's what Sportsnet is calling Nathan Rourke. You would say, how about both?
No, well, you got to have one nickname, I think. I know I'm a and not or kind of guy. So yeah, both, but I like WestJet. And there's probably more. There's probably more that we could put in the poll. But
I just remember as a guy that worked in the CFL for 20 years, full-time, that was my job, thinking, well, and doing a sports talk show, too, that there's not a lot going on in the summer for the most part. What is on the highlights? Tennis and CFL and baseball. When you watch Sportsnet Connected, it's generally all baseball, which is fine. I love baseball. We all do. We probably don't talk about it enough. But the CFL should be center stage. And I'll tell you what, without Nathan Rourke, where would they be?
I know.
What else?
I know. And it's a marquee. It's now a marquee name. It's a story. There's an attachment to the community and to the country. There's all these great things. And it's a great marketing lesson. You know, it's the players. It's the names. You have to bring an attachment. And then that's a reason to tell the story and even to play the highlights, right? And then all of a sudden, you have an opportunity to spotlight the other team if somebody else does something crazy. And then all of a sudden, a second story could build, right? And another reason to tune in. So.
Well, and by the way, it's what we do here. It's daytime sports talk, afternoon for our viewers in the East, morning for those out here in the West. And I'm willing to have the discussion with everybody about anything. That's what's fun about this. When we were going into this show 3 years ago, I was afraid that I couldn't keep up the conversation. I think I've held my own.
Yeah.
You know, with knowledge on these things, but I've put the work into it. Anyways, Ted in Red Deer says, I'm going to miss Coach Reinbold's comments, but to use a baseball phrase, the RP show has a deep bullpen. I'm sure we'll still get the updates and inside info. Of course. I appreciate that, Ted. This would have been the segment that Jeff Reinbold would be in, but he has accepted this coaching offer with Major League Football, MILF, and they've told him that he can't go on the air anywhere and talk about the Canadian Football League. And quite frankly, I think that's a very myopic, short-sighted mindset by Major League Football. But they're the ones making the rules, not us. Why not talk about all football? Why not?
I know.
I don't get the us versus them thing. I hate it.
I know you do. And it's tough, but that's, you're never going to change the thinking of the leagues and the people in charge, but yeah, the more talk about football, the better.
Jordan Ewart in Regina says he likes the name WestJet better. Nelson Hakowich, our VP of Sim Events, says the nickname can't relate to the team. It has to be general to build the brand. We don't call Tom Brady Tampa Tom. Yes, we do.
Call them Tampa.
Call it Tampa. Yes. Nelson, come down to Florida sometime. That's all that we hear down there is Tampa and Tampa Tom. That's all we hear. Get your ESPN working and watch that sometime. Nelson.
Tampa Tom, I like.
They call him Tampa Tom.
Yeah,
every single day
good. It's
on ESPN. Yeah. Now my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat says, I like Lion King. You would. Going against my choice. Nelson says, Flair Air. That ain't bad, but I think WestJet just fits.
Well, the West Coast, right?
Right, WestJet.
BC. Oh,
WestJet
yeah.
it is. Jennifer from the Four Seasons says Kikuchi needs to show up, and I'm not sure what's going on with Ricky Romano. He's struggling as of late. Yeah, but they won this series against the Red Sox. They've been pounding home runs. 2 great games on television tonight, the Jays and the Rays and the Canadian Football League. BC Lions and Ottawa Redblacks. I might add, I'm the only media in Canada, it seems, talking about the Canadian Elite Basketball League, but there are 2 games tonight, Guelph at Hamilton and Newfoundland at Edmonton. And I sure hope for the best for that league, but I just feel like they are not jumping on it. Oh, boy. I think about this almost every day. Wayne in Victoria, BC, who was part of our live studio audience here earlier in the week, he says, hey, Rod, there's more to talk about this summer than during the pandemic. And the RP show found things to talk about. Dude, we did 4 months with no sports every day, and we grew. How the hell did we do that?
I often think about that we had all this time in a pandemic with no sports, and we weren't really talking about vaccines and COVID and politics. We never, you got to remember this is really important. We never sat on the couch or on the curb and said, what are we going to talk about today? Never. Like not one time. Not once.
Well, as I look back, there was a lot of the, when are they coming back? When are they coming back? There was the reports. We correctly broke the news that the NHL was coming back on August 1st. Remember that from an NHL source?
Yes.
But there was always the anticipation.
Yep, and we predicted the bubble and all the different things they were going to do and how they were going to come. So that was fun to speculate on what they might do and how they can, successfully play games in a safe environment. And we did that. And I thought it was pretty cool. Like it's a moment we'll look back on and be like, that was a very, very monumental time in our history.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Put that in the Netflix series.
It is.
Darren's writing a Netflix series on this show. You're not going to want to miss it. I can't wait to see it. The scary thing is, I'm living it.
Yeah, we don't know how it ends.
We have no idea how it ends. By the way, my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat says, okay, you win. Yes. Finally, I win an argument with a Pedersen. WestJet. That is the nickname of Nathan Rourke. Jason in Red Deer says, I was just on the Major League Football website, and it appears they are ahead of the mockery and went with MLFB rather than MLF. We're all going to call it the MILF League. Come on.
You have to.
You have to. And by the way, I was not complaining about lack of things to talk about. That wasn't my point. What I have written here is summer-CFL center stage. What I'm saying is now's the time that the CFL should be center stage. My God, Sportsnet's talking about him, and I never thought that was ever going to happen. I almost fell off the treadmill when I saw it today. We're going to bring in Justin Dunk next. I'm like, huh? And they did.
This is the window.
This is the time.
Yeah, this is the window. Hockey's done. NFL is on their little break. This is a chance for the CFL to step up and capture the spotlight and be a part of our summers. I think it's tremendously exciting.
I think we successfully closed the book for today on the Hockey Canada talk. And again, I'm not getting into it, but it started to get some legs here, right? And then I just stopped.
Yeah.
I'm with Hockey Canada, would always be with Hockey Canada. And I've seen other daytime talk shows, of which there aren't many, but in the digital space, they've gone wall to wall on it. And it's their show. They can do whatever they want. I don't know what the exact... When I'm talking about Hustler, the Winnipeg Sports Talk, really, they can have their take. But I saw it with the World Juniors in 2012 when I was the voice of Team Canada. And the Hockey Canada people said, hey, you're representing Canada. Here's a tracksuit. I'm like, ooh, this is cool. I realized this is a very, very, very big entity. That's the governing body of hockey in Canada. And you're going to tell me they're going to be canceled? There's no way. You can't cancel hockey. And they have their own TV deal. They have their own merchandise line. They do their own ticketing. They're an NHL team. They're an NHL franchise, right? When they're setting prices for the World Juniors in Canada, they're setting the prices. They're collecting the TV rights. That's how I knew during the pandemic they were going to play, or at least die trying. Because the Edmonton tournament, of course, got canceled just when Connor Bedard, which, boy, are we weaving all over the place, but it is fun. It is. It's fun.
Good. Oh, yeah.
Well, we should break. We'll come back with a little more on this, but just with Nathan Rourke. I see things so differently now with my new perspective in life, and I would say it's a better perspective in life, but I look at Nathan Rourke and what he's doing, it reminds me a little of Connor Bedard, where I was trying to sell Connor Bedard in Canadian junior hockey and tickets for the Pats. because I was the TV voice of them at the time, and people are like, you're putting too much pressure on him. I'm like, I know he'll deliver. Connor Bedard, because I've seen it close up with my own eyes. He'll be fine. Oh, and guess what? He was fine. But now I see Nathan Rourke. I don't know Nathan Rourke as well. We've had him on this show. I haven't seen him practice. I haven't seen behind the scenes like I have with Bedard. And I'm sitting there going, are we, as a nation and media, putting too much pressure on Nathan Rourke? I don't know. It feels like they are.
They might be.
Know?
And that comes back down to the adversity. Mentally, how strong is he?
It's going to be up to him. Yeah. Just like it was up to Connor Bedard to answer the bell. It's up to them.
Yeah.
Is there too much pressure on WestJet? That's the new nickname of the quarterback of the BC Lions. We'll be back with Taco Time Viewer Takeover. We've got Jabari Arthur next hour and AJ Jakubec, two big CFL names. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We're also live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
It is a Taco Time viewer takeover. Welcome inside the Grey Eagle Event Center. That's where we are today, and well, not every day. Next week we're going to be outside. If you go and look at my social media right now, my own personal account at Rod Pedersen Official, you will see them setting up for Cody Snyder's Bowl Bustin' here at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. I want to bring the Moose back in here. I've never been for Stampede, and I love it. Jabari Arthur has shown up. Everybody around town is like, "Are you ready for Stampede?" We're like, "Yeah, we've never been." They're like, "What? How have you never been? You just got it."
I know.
You just got it from Jabari. Man, they're excited.
We're in for one for sure. We're in for one. Like I don't know what to expect, but it's going to be wild.
I get a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I get a pretty good idea. Maybe we'll be broadcasting live from Pancake breakfast and stuff. I think that would be fun.
That would be cool.
But again, this Cody Snyder Bowl Bustin', which is literally 100 yards behind me, they're setting up. Go look at Rod Pedersen Official right now. My story, I took a video of them setting up for it. My brother was asking me last night, how many people do you think that'll hold? I said, a couple thousand probably.
Mm-hmm.
That sound right?
Yeah.
So we're very excited about it. But this is Taco Time viewer takeover. For the love of burritos, it's buy one, get one burrito half off at Taco Time every Thursday. And Taco Time has looked after us very well. So I feel like instead of going for coffee with our guy Lee this afternoon, we go for burritos this afternoon.
Got to go to Taco Time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Drowning in burritos. Thank you, Taco Time. There's a partnership that really fits.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, the text line's open. The number's on the screen, 902-518-3033. You people are really going to enjoy hour two when Jabari Arthur joins us and the voice of the Ottawa REDBLACKS AJ Jakubec, because one of the topics we're going to talk about is there too much pressure being heaped on Nathan Rourke? Big game tonight, BC Lions at Ottawa REDBLACKS. The Lions were the most watched game in the country last week. I can't believe it. They didn't kick off till 10 Eastern. How does that happen? Those games in Vancouver are never the most watched games.
No, they're really not. But they've captured the audience. They've captured the country.
They're loving my boy WestJet.
Yeah.
That's the nickname for the BC Lions quarterback. There are some other options. Let's do this for the next hour.
Okay.
Ask our viewers, what would be the better nickname?
Yeah.
Sportsnet's called him the Lion King. Lions King, actually.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
That's not bad.
But so I've said this too. Brandon Bridge. And listen, I sit here and I'm not trying to dump on Brandon Bridge because I love the guy. I love him. And I don't think he was necessarily put in the best situation with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. But he had plenty of opportunities to achieve what Nathan Rourke is. And for whatever reason, it didn't happen for him.
Yeah.
And I wrote in here, or I said on here earlier that I remember his first big start. It was the big start. Actually, I think it wasn't his first start was with the Alouettes.
Yeah.
Against the Riders and Keith Price and Brett Smith. I was there. Called it. But anyways, with the Chris Jones-led Rough Riders, Bridge had the start. You remember the game. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember who the guy was. He threw an 80-yard rope. Last minute of play in hour one. I'm not joking. And 80, it wasn't a rope, but it was a nice pass. And he put it right on the numbers. I couldn't remember who the guy was, but dropped it. And Metal Shingle Guy writes in, he's listening, and he says, Thiggy. On a wheel route. Big drop. It was Thiggy. And I'll never forget, because I was calling the game, Thiggy turned and went like this. It's on me. And we're like, yeah, no kidding, it's on you. He put it right on it right here. And unfortunately for Brandon, he just, and I get it.
Yeah.
In the brief amount of time that I was playing goal, and I've talked with sports psychologists since, when something goes bad early on, sometimes it just finishes you. And that's what happened with Brandon Bridge. And it's not happening for Nathan Rourke. We'll see what happens tonight. Moose, we'll see you next hour. You bet. Jabari Arthur and AJ Jakubek coming up in hour two after this break on Game Plus TV.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, it's a lot of time. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
The computer has the Hamilton Tiger Cats getting off the snide and beating the Edmonton Elks 24-18. Who do you think wins between Saskatchewan and Montreal based on computer simulation?
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, 23-21. Riders favored by 5 at home over Montreal. Deal or no deal?
I'm going to go no deal. I'm going to take the Owls.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It sure is, and happy Thursday, Canada. For us, it's our Friday, last day of June. Canada Day coming up on Friday. There will be no show here at the RP Show, so welcome inside. It's that time of year where the Canadian Football League should be front and center stage in this country, and it is. And the hockey season ended last night. I have to tell you, last hour, spoiler alert, if you want to go back, that's where we discussed the Memorial Cup final and the hockey things that are coming up. But this hour, I don't want to belabor it any longer. We've got a great friend of ours, a CFL Great Jabari Arthur, joining us right here at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, the Event Center. Kansas City Chiefs is where he broke into pro football. Calgary Stampeders, 2008 to 2015, and a little sojourn into Winnipeg in 2009. And now he's the new offensive coordinator of the Calgary Dinos football program. How you doing, Jabari?
And I'm doing absolutely awesome. Thanks for having me out.
Yes, sir. Game day. Game day in the Canadian Football League. You're excited.
Yes, it is.
You're going to be watching tonight.
Most definitely be tuned in for sure.
Yeah, BC Lions at the Ottawa REDBLACKS. And Later on this hour, AJ Jakubec, the voice of the Red Blacks, is going to be joining us from the nation's capital. And my good and longtime friend AJ, I appreciate him joining us on a game day. But you were listening to our conversation at the end of hour one, Jabari, and I said, is there too much pressure on Nathan Rourke? Because you turn on any television channel, you read anything on social media, it's all about Nathan Rourke, the guy that I've nicknamed WestJet. And I think it'll stick. Is it too much hype?
I think it's needed, though.
Yeah?
I feel like, this is the CFL, and, it's made by Canadian players. So I feel that the fact that we have a Canadian star, emerging is great for the league. It's good for him, and, I'm silently rooting for him.
Yeah, well, to our American viewers who I think are picking it, we've talked enough about Nathan Rourke. They feel like they know him now. And the reason I point out the Americans is 20% of our viewers are American, and we are in 31 U.S. states. But this is a Canadian quarterback of the BC Lions. And, yeah, he set a record last week for the most yards passing in a game by a Canadian. Not to poo-poo that. But his 88% completion percentage is the most by any quarterback, I don't care, Canadian or American, in CFL history. Right? Ricky Ray was the last at 84%. We're talking about a Hall of Famer now.
Yep. And I definitely think he's on his way. Obviously, when you're brand new, he's making his splash into the CFL. And, I think everyone's kind of wondering how long is he going to be able to continue on this rip. But like I said, we're rooting for him. And, every time I watch him, I feel like he's so calm and cool in the pocket. And I think he's emerging to be a star, and I hope this continues.
Well, and I'm not done talking about this yet. So you say it's needed. We can all agree that it's needed. We can all agree it's needed for the CFL. Like, for instance, Moose and I drove around last night. We went and got big blizzards to celebrate a new partnership that we have that we'll be announcing next week, a big one with the RP show. And then we went to 7-Eleven trying to find these CFL cups. Have you seen this phenomenon that there's CFL cups across Canada at 7-Elevens for Slurpees?
Oh boy, I haven't seen it, but I'm going to be looking for it.
Well, you wouldn't see it because I went to a bunch of 7-Elevens around this town, and I'm like, where's the CFL cups? And this lady, she had the clipboard out and her glasses down, and she's like, we don't have them yet. But we have the Flames cups, we have the NFL cups, blah, 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 blah. And she goes, we don't have the CFL. My point is, it's not a big deal, newsworthy, that there would be NHL or NFL cups at a 7-Eleven. Mm-hmm. But wouldn't be that you would expect that. But the fact that there's CFL cups, it's making headlines. We need the hype.
Yep.
But the question of, is it too much? Is it too much on Nathan Rourke? Too much pressure on him to live up to these expectations?
Well, as a former professional athlete, I think the expectations, hopefully, that he's setting is the ones that are important. You know what I mean? How he prepares for games and stuff like that. I hope that's what's important to him. Obviously, it's almost impossible now not to go on social media and not to go on these other platforms to kind of see if they're talking about whatever athlete it is. But, just looking at him, I don't know him personally, but I think he's built for it. He has this cool demeanor about him. And like I said, WestJet, I think he's on his way.
I think it's a wonderful nickname. But there are other nicknames. Sportsnet's calling him the Lions King, and I don't think that's bad. I don't. But tonight it is a 5:30 Mountain, 7:30 Eastern BC Lions at the Ottawa REDBLACKS on TSN, of course. And the Lions are favored by 2.5 from our exclusive betting partner, BetRegal. Go sign up, betregal.ca. Use the promo code RP22, and you'll get welcome dollars deposited into your account from BetRegal. Not only our official betting partner, but the Canadian Football Leagues as well. Now, the last time we had Jabari Arthur here was before the CFL draft.
It was.
Yeah. And you had these wonderful Philpott twins on your dinos, and you predicted they would go in the first round, and they did. And they haven't let their name down, their fans down at all. So talk about the Philpott twins, what they've done so far.
I am super excited about what they're doing. Some people may be surprised, but I'm definitely not. I feel that everything in the splash that they're about to make, they had a little bit of some health issues during training camp, but now they're back, they're playing. Man, they're about also going to take the CFL by storm as well. Tyson had his first career catch. Believe this or not, first career catch goes for 60 yards. I texted him right after the game. I was like, man, I don't know what you ate this morning, but keep doing it. He looked great. And, Jalen, same story. He got into the game last week, and, man, he looks great. Playing in multiple positions. They had him in the backfield in certain plays. And I was like, you know what? As those guys get more confident, it's only a matter of time before those guys are going to be filling some headlines as well.
Well, so their dad, Corey Philpott, was a CFL great running back. And for our American viewers, they're watching this because they like the football talk. So I think that they would know who Corey Philpott was. And his two twin sons played at the U of C for Jabari, the University of Calgary here. And so the one, Tyson, went to the Montreal Alouettes in the draft, and Jalen went to the Calgary Stampeders here. So you weren't at the Stamps game on Saturday, but I was. And I was a little surprised. Just tell the viewers what you told me in the break about the atmosphere, what you heard. Because the tailgate party, everything was amazing. And we get inside, and the announcer, Dan Carson, who I've known a long time, he says, back to return the kickoff for the Stampeders, Jalen Philpott. I'm expecting the roof to go off the place. And there was not even, I didn't hear even a smattering of applause. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel that they should probably do a little bit more for amateur sports. I know that, especially like we talked about before with the NFL and stuff like that, through their whole draft process, they have all these stuff that go out and you make a connection with some of the guys before they even get onto their respective teams. And, when they are drafted, it's like, wow, you already know who they are, and they have like this big hype behind them. And I feel that, there's so much talented young athletes here in this country, and they need to get a little bit more connection with the fans so they have, a chance to get to know who they are before they even get there.
Yeah, for sure. But I will say this, that I was 20 years with the Rough Riders, and I used to make fun of the Stamps. We had a big rivalry and blah, blah, blah. But I'm walking up to the stadium Saturday, and that tailgating is something else. Like, yes, I'm looking right, and I'm going, where did all these fans come from? I didn't realize that they had this deep of love. And it was a beautiful day. It was a hot day. People were out in their lawn chairs. It felt very NFL-like. And I've been to enough NFL stadiums and tailgates to feel that. There were some young guys walking behind me, and they were literally going, can somebody give me a hot dog? They're yelling it. I guess that's what you do at a tailgate. You beg for food. I don't know. But that part was cool. You're obviously familiar with that.
I'll definitely say that, after my playing days, I had an opportunity to go down and had a few times at the tailgates, and it is an awesome experience. And from what I heard on Saturday, that's what a lot of people were really, really happy about, that they had this great tailgating event down on the lower field, and there was so many people there, and they had to import water because everyone was there, and it was just a great, great time. Yeah. So I definitely think that is awesome. And I will say this, I'll give credit to the Calgary Stampeder fans, is that they do a great tailgate party.
I was pretty in awe. And I don't say that lightly.
Yeah,
you and I haven't known each other very long, but what you are realizing is I don't BS. I'm not going to say it if I don't believe it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, they
well
do a
done.
Good job. They do a good job.
And it wasn't just the team-sanctioned Stampeder one, just the fans themselves out in the parking lot. So we put it on social media that we think it's the best tailgating in Canada. And, of course, everybody's chiming in, oh, you got to come to Winnipeg. It's better here. It's better in this place. I don't know. From my experience, Calgary has been the best. Regarding those CFL Cups, by the way, they say that they come out on July 4th. People are writing in saying two viewers, one in Regina, one in Brandon, say the CFL Cups come out July 4th. Yet John in Edmonton says, I have my Edmonton Elks 7-Eleven Cup. So I don't know. All I know is I saw the photo on Twitter. I'm like, I got to go find one of these. And they didn't have them. So I thought they were sold out, but I guess they are on their way. By the way, other Week 4 games, Jabari, you're obviously watching the CFL very closely.
Oh, yeah.
Let me go to the games here. We've talked enough about BC at Ottawa tonight. We're all going to be watching. Edmonton at Hamilton. Had Farhan Lalji on here yesterday, and I said, besides Nathan Rourke, what are the other stories of the CFL season that have caught your attention? He says that Edmonton's been so bad. So it's the 0-3 Edmonton Elks at the 0-3 Hamilton Tiger Cats Friday. Something's got to give.
Yep.
What do you see happening there?
I will say this, though. If you kind of take a look back at Coach Jones and the history of his, coaching career, his teams usually do start off slow. They usually do start off slow, and then they catch a rhythm. I feel that, there's no – Chris Jones, that's just what he does. He's one of those coaches where he gets the most out of his players. So, when he gets and he implants his game plan in and stuff like that and the team catches, they usually catch fire. So it's going to be interesting. I think Edmonton's going to turn around a little bit towards as the season goes on.
But you don't think they're going to win in Hamilton?
Hamilton, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I think, once again, they're just looking to catch their ground. And the CFL usually does get exciting towards the midseason. Teams start to gain a little bit of momentum. So hopefully they'll turn it around as well.
Well, you also as we pointed out earlier, played in the league from 2008 to 2015. And I always thought, if the nation thinks the CFL doesn't kick off till Labor Day, you're missing a lot of great football, right, in July and August. But you're right. That's when teams tend to have the best cohesion, or you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think I'd like to see the game notes on this, the numbers on this, the probabilities, if they will. When you start 0-3, what are the chances you go on to make the playoffs? Like I hear in Edmonton, all the fans are jumping off the cliff saying the season's done. And with what BC's doing now and the other teams, it probably is.
No, not, you know.
You don't think so?
It's a long season.
Yeah.
It's a very long. It's 18 games. You never know. You know what I mean? You could, anything could happen at any given time and switch momentum and things change.
Every other starting quarterback in the West could have a broken leg. Yes, you would have a chance. I'm saying the statistical probabilities of the Edmonton Elks making the playoffs aren't high. Their locker room can't think that way. But I could see why the fans would be upset, is all that I'm saying. But also, what did you expect? They were 3-11 last year.
Which is true. But I will say this, though. Once again, if stats could go in, you could take it in any which direction. How many times did the team with the best regular season win the Grey Cup?
I know.
That. So I just think that even though they may not have the hottest start at the beginning, it's catching momentum at the right time. That could change a lot of things.
So the point is just making the playoffs.
That's what it is. It's a brand new season when you get to the playoffs.
Well, we see that in the National Hockey League, and we have our NHL analysts come on here and say that. And I say I don't even want to win. I wouldn't want to win the President's Cup, which is the NHL regular season trophy, because I think it's 1 in the last 10 went on to win the Stanley Cup. I don't know what it is. It's almost a jinx to have the best record in the regular season in any league.
Yep, that's true.
Montreal at Sask on Saturday. The Rough Riders are favored by 5, and to be honest with you, I'm reading the coverage obviously out of Saskatchewan. They're all over the quarterback there, and you're not going to talk them out of it. I don't know what it is about the fans that they got to have some whipping boy. Now it's Cody Fajardo, but I can't see them losing to Montreal Saturday. What do you think?
That's going to be a very interesting game. Once again, I choose teams or who I think is going to win by the amount of dinos that are on the team. But we have dinos on both teams, so it's going to be a toss-up game. It's going to be in Montreal or in Sask.
It's in Sask.
Oh boy. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Sask. I will say this is probably the toughest place to play in the CFL. So if I had to pick a side, I'd probably give it to them just because you're playing at home.
Yeah, and your not alma mater, but former team, Winnipeg Blue Bombers at the Toronto Argonauts. That's a Monday game. Bombers are favored by 5. You told me the story, but I forgot. Tell me again why you went to Winnipeg in the middle of your career and came back to Calgary. What was the deal there?
Well, you know what? I got hurt earlier on in the season, and I tried to come back and play. And unfortunately, when I realized that I wasn't 100%, they needed a player. Calgary needed a player right away, so they traded me to Winnipeg. Went to Winnipeg, and unfortunately, once again, I was still hurt. Had surgery there. And at the beginning of the following season, which was 2010, once again, I wasn't 100% going into training camp. And unfortunately, Winnipeg released me. And my agent said, don't drive home to Montreal, drive west. Went back out to Calgary, and they gave me an opportunity to try out again, so to speak. And that was 6 years later. So
Huff is very good at offering second chances, I've found.
I thought John Huffnagel, once again, great guy. I owe a lot of my career to him for giving me an opportunity. Talk about a straight shooter. That's exactly what he is, and I love his honesty, and that's exactly what it is. If you're honest with him, he'll be honest with you, and I'm a huge fan of John Huffnagel.
So what do you think happens with the Blue Bombers at the Argos on Monday?
Well, you know what? I think the Toronto team, talk about, they're so deep. They have so much talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They just need, once again, to get it clicking. But Winnipeg, for some reason, they always seem to, they're the most consistent team, I believe, right now in the CFL. So it's going to be a tough game for Toronto. But I know, unfortunately, I know a lot of guys on the staff and stuff like that. But I think Winnipeg is they're a pretty good football team right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're taking a Bomber win.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are going to take a timeout, and on this Thursday, it's our final show of the week. So we're calling this a Football Friday. Come Thursday, as we'll observe Canada Day on Friday. Get your questions in now for Jabari Arthur. He's with us for one more segment, and then we've got AJ Jakubec on game day from Ottawa as the Red Blacks welcome the BC Lions. Talking all ball for all today on Game Plus Television with the RP Show. We're live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We're also live streaming on YouTube, and you can always catch the podcast wherever you enjoy your podcasts, including Amazon, Google, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersenshop.com.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Calgary, Alberta, here they come. Welcome your Bull Riders!
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
It's a Football Thursday live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Big CFL backers, big Stamps sponsors out here at Grey Eagle. And by the way, it's a Thursday, so for the love of burritos, it's buy one, get one half off at any taco time near you. Every Thursday, all day, there's over 120 locations across Canada. By the way, a sports update before we bring Jabari Arthur back in. It's back to work for the Blue Jays after a tough loss. The Boston Red Sox put up 3 runs runs in the 10th inning and held on for a 6-5 win Wednesday. Jays look to bounce back today as they open a 5-game set against the Tampa Bay Rays in Toronto. The Brewers will see how center fielder Jonathan Davis is feeling a day after he crashed headfirst into the padded wall at Tampa Bay, making a tremendous catch. Davis ran at full speed and jumped back to snag Randy Arozarena's drive in the second inning. He stayed down for several minutes holding his back and exited the game, saying he's got lower back and rib cage discomfort. And Nathan Rourke and the BC Lions are looking to continue their hot start in Ottawa against the Red Blacks to open Week 4 in the CFL. Rourke set a CFL record for single-game passing yards by a Canadian quarterback last week to improve the Lions' record of 2-0. Ottawa 0-2. And TSN has it. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca and for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. Jabari Arthur is with us, as you can see, former CFLer, Grey Cup champion, and NFLer. And I have to say this, Jabari. Darren and I were talking earlier about the fact the NFL is so quiet right now. Have you noticed?
Yeah, that is true.
The only thing is the Deshaun Watson thing, which I'm sure they wish wasn't a thing. What are the players doing right now? It's the last day of June. What is an NFL player's schedule right now? As he played with the Kansas City Chiefs?
They're probably spending as much time as they can with their family because if I do believe players have to report at the end of July, so they're going to be on a little bit of vacations here. They're probably conditioning, running, fine-tuning a few things. And then, like I said, preparing for training camp. And for a lot of guys, this is going to be their opportunity to make a team. So they're definitely getting mentally prepared for that. For sure.
It's interesting. Reggie Begelton came down here, wide receiver for the Stampeders, to Grey Eagle. And I asked him how his 2 years in the NFL were with Green Bay. And he said, terrible. It was during COVID. Couldn't leave my room. Yeah. Can you imagine that being your NFL experience during COVID?
Oh, yeah.
It'd be the worst.
Oh, my goodness. I can only imagine what any athlete was going through at those times.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, at least I feel like we're out of it. Back to normal. Jabari is the offensive coordinator of the Calgary Dinos. We're back to normal this year?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I think, COVID did a number of things for a lot of different programs. We're excited that we were able to put in a regular off season with the guys this year. Training camp is going to be looking like the regular training camp, and we're excited to see what we're going to be able to do this year on the field.
By the way, AJ Jakubec coming up next segment, the voice of the Ottawa Redblacks on game day. And we've got some great questions coming in from the viewers. I'll get to those in a minute. Farhan Lalji of TSN reporting that Friday night football, Edmonton Elks at the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The Elks will be starting Trey Ford at quarterback. The next WestJet or Air Canada, Trey Ford, out of Waterloo, right?
Yes, he is.
So you know all about Trey Ford. So he's going to start a quarterback for Edmonton. What's your, according to Farhan, which I'm sure he's right, what's your read on that story?
Well, it is kind of funny because he also is a twin. So we had the twins from the east and the twins from the west. So it's a little bit of a rivalry that's going to be forming between the Fords and the Philpotchers. I'm looking forward to as their careers continue to grow. But unbelievable athlete. He does a lot of stuff with his legs. He's one of those guys where you're not sure what's going to happen when he gets the ball in his hands. But he is a extraordinary athlete, and he's going to be definitely a weapon and something defense is going to have to plan for.
So this feeds in to this question from Nelson. He says, what does Jabari see is the reason we're seeing Canadians really hit their stride in both the CFL and NFL? It feels like someone flipped a switch, and Canadians are dominating both sides of the border.
Well, I think that now we're beginning to catch up in terms of training and what we do in our off seasons and whatnot. And just the expectations that we have of our athletes are beginning to get higher. And I think it's beginning to show on the football field and throughout all sports what we're able to do as athletes in Canada.
Well, I feel like we're on the cusp of something tremendous, and we might actually be in it. Forget about the cusp. And we talk about Nathan Rourke, WestJet, if it catches on, and now Trey Ford, but also the Canadian Elite Basketball League. Did you just mention basketball? We had more Canadians go higher than ever in the NBA draft, and it can't just be a universe thing. I don't think. You think training and opportunities is the reason for this?
Oh, definitely. I think that you could correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the first time we had two go in the first round?
That high. I think they both went in the top 20, did they not?
Yeah, I think it was 6 and
If you're asking NBA trivia, don't answer me. I just know that it was a 5 or 6 total went in the NBA draft, which is unbelievable.
Well, I definitely have a young son at home, and he sees those things and he gets excited about it. So I think that now that we are starting to make a little bit of a splash and stuff like that, I think that more young athletes are starting to pay more attention to it, and their dreams are getting bigger and bigger. And I think that's a presence of Canadian athletes, because some of our young guys now are believing that they too could get an opportunity to be drafted.
Again, questions for Jabari Arthur. He's with us to the end of this segment, which is about almost another 10 minutes. The text line is open, 902-518-3033. Again, 902-518-3033. Or in the YouTube chat if you're watching on streaming. Kenny Gill is watching in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and he writes in, he says, great holiday weekend on both sides of the border. CFL tonight, Friday, Saturday, and Monday nights, and on Sunday night on Fox at the USFL Championship game between the Philadelphia Stars versus the Birmingham Stallions. Enjoy your extended weekend, Rod and Darren. Well, we'll be on the air Monday, but not Friday. We'll be observing Canada Day here on the RP Show, and frankly, going out to Canmore for Spiritual Day. I'm very much looking forward to that. Should be awesome. But on Monday, we'll be on the air on July 4th. But I got to ask you this, Jabari, as a guy that's played in the CFL and the NFL, what has been your take on the USFL? I watched the opening weekend. I got a lot of friends in the league. Clearly you do too. But it didn't really hold my interest past that.
I will say this. They're saying that it's not a fans league. It's supposed to be a TV league. Man, when you have sporting events, the fans...
They should be.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, you need fans and stuff like that to be sitting in the stands, and they add a different atmosphere. And even though you're watching at home, you still feel some of the energy of the fans give when they're at the game. So I think moving forward and whatnot, I know they did a number of things to keep the costs low. They got to get the fans there. They have to get more fans there. It's going to be a little bit exciting because they're moving to Canton Akron now, in a place where I'm very familiar with. So that's a great little field and stadium they have there. So it's going to be, hopefully it'll be a little bit more exciting there.
The whole league's moving there?
I think just for the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Just for the playoffs.
Okay, now I've never been, and I have a friend. Drew down in South Florida. He's a personal trainer down there and a coach, and he's from Akron. Last time I talked to him, he's in Fort Lauderdale. He said to me, "You ever heard of Akron? Do you know anybody from Akron?" I said, "LeBron." He's like, "Oh yeah." I don't know that he's the biggest basketball fan, but is that are Canton and Akron neighboring cities?
Oh yeah, they're like you said it right, hit it on the nose. They're neighboring cities, and the NFL Hall of Fame is right there on the border of both of them. So it's if you were flying into Akron, you'd fly into the Canton Akron Airport.
So you're following this pretty closely then.
Oh well, yeah. When I heard that it was going to go to Akron, I was like, oh okay. And I mean that's going to be a little interesting there. And like I said, someplace I'm really familiar with. So I'm hoping that Ohio itself is a big football state. So hopefully they'll get some fans out to those games as well. Should be good.
Jabari Arthur is with us, former Stampeder, Blue Bomber, and Kansas City Chief on this Football Thursday. We are previewing, or already have actually, Week 4 in the Canadian Football League. And I should mention, please vote on our poll if you haven't yet. You can on YouTube or Twitter for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Is Nathan Rourke for real? The guy that's taken the Canadian Football League by storm. It's not his rookie year, by the way. It's his sophomore year. He was a second-round pick, and he'll start tonight setting records at the quarterback position. Is he for real or not? And between 80 and 90% of our viewers are saying that they are. But Montreal's your hometown, right?
Yes, sir.
But went to Akron to play college. And with this USFL thing, I just sit here and kind of wonder, how can they say we're a TV league, not a fan league? Because when you watch the games, I wonder who's in charge of these decisions. With nobody there, it doesn't make you want to get hyped.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I definitely think that the fans, no matter what sporting event it is, they add a different element. And the more fans you have there, usually the bigger of the atmosphere and the more energy you feel. So I definitely feel that they need some fans there, and I'm hoping that, like I said, it's in a football community, so hopefully they'll get some out there.
Sure, but it's been in Birmingham, which is a football community too. Mm-hmm. Which reminds me, it's the hometown of Corey Chamberlain. I was following the Birmingham Stallions primarily because of him, and they had the best regular season This is the former coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He's the defensive coordinator of the Stallions. Were you with the Stamps same time as Chaim?
I was. He was the, man, we're going way back now.
I know, DB's coach, right?
Yeah, he was a DB coach when I was there.
Yeah, and the other guys, Jim Pop's in that league now. Jason Garrett was for a time. There is a lot of CFL connections to the USFL.
Actually, yeah. If you're testing my memory here, but I think Coach Belfoy.
Marcel?
Yes, Marcel. He's a receiver coach for, I want to say, the Pittsburgh team.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, I'm drawing a blank here, but the former coach for the Toronto Argonauts.
Bart Andrus?
Thank you. Bart Andrus. He's over there also.
Wow,
so
yeah.
There's a lot of ties.
I'm getting confused between the XFL and the USFL. And now as we went to air today, we talked about Jeff Reinbold was supposed to be on the program today in hour 1, but he's accepted a coaching position with Major League Football, MLF, and now he's not allowed to come on this show anymore to talk about the CFL. So to be honest with you, these leagues are all becoming a little confusing. For me anyways. What's it like in the football world?
Well, you know what? I just think it's an opportunity for guys who may not have had the opportunity to make the NFL, give them a chance to play pro ball. You know, if you look across all the rest of the professional sports, there's a lot of other leagues that guys have an opportunity to play in. So I think if as long as they don't try to go and rival the NFL, I think that these leagues are good for football.
Which they never will. Yeah. Well, more opportunities, more jobs. I talked about that yesterday.
Exactly.
One more before I let you go. Wayne in BC says, regarding that Edmonton Elks news that Trey Ford's expected to start at quarterback, and my gosh, I don't think you want to throw a rookie quarterback into a situation like this unless you absolutely have to, Canadian or not. But Wayne says, I guess Chris Jones is hoping that Trey Ford can do similar things to what Nathan Rourke is doing. Let's just remember, Nathan was good last year, but he wasn't doing this. Trey Ford is a rookie. But you mentioned Chris Jones and the way he thinks. Obviously, you worked with him too.
Yeah, I've worked with him, coached or played against him also when he was a coordinator for other teams. I love him because he's a little bit unorthodox. You know, that's the thing of when you game plan for a guy or coach like Coach Jones is that, man, you never know what you're going to get, and I think that's what makes him good. Once again, I'm hoping that, Trey Ford, when he gets out there, he's going to bring that dynamic where you can't just, you have to stay really, really committed to your rush lanes because, like I said, he's a great athlete and he has that ability to all of a sudden, when you think things are breaking down, that's when he gets on and he's at his best.
And I swear, Jones would not put him on the field if he didn't think he could get it done.
Yeah,
he wouldn't do it. He would have signed Vince Young if he thought, and has, right? So again, Friday night, must-see TV. Jabari, it is always a pleasure. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you for having me. You know what I mean? Once again, if you guys have an opportunity, you're talking about football, tune into the Calgary Dinos this year. I think we're going to be an exciting football team for sure.
He's the offensive coordinator. We're going live to Ottawa next. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network. We're also streaming on YouTube. And you can always catch the podcast wherever the podcasts are found. The best podcasts are found, including Amazon, Google, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
The RP show continues on this football Thursday, and it's been a lot of fun. Week 4 kicks off tonight in the nation's capital. And we've got a reason to watch Friday Night Football, too, as we've heard that Trey Ford will be starting a quarterback for the Edmonton Elks. We can talk some hockey, too, with our next guest. AJ Jakubec is the voice of the Red Blacks, and I appreciate you, AJ, joining us on a game day tonight. And we're all excited to tune in for the Nathan Rourke show against your Ottawa Red Blacks, looking for their first win. I sense a vibe in the nation's capital for this game. Am I right?
You would be, yeah. You know what's first and foremost, like the last couple of years, obviously the last couple of seasons of Ottawa Red Blacks football haven't been very good with 3 wins apiece. But, you know, I think there's optimism, even though they started 0-2. 2 pretty good performances against the Bombers, just too many mistakes, didn't put enough points on the board up in the first 2 games. I mean, 825 yards net offense, but 1 touchdown. So that's something that needs to be a lot better. But, you know, not only have the wins not been there the last couple of seasons, the weather has been terrible for Ottawa Red Blacks home games. And today, 24, sunny, no rain in the forecast. So, yeah, and it's the day before Canada Day here. There's a lot of excitement. I think it's going to be a great crowd and should be a fun night.
Well, it's fun. I see the BC Lions staff and players, tweeting photos on their Instagram, too, of Parliament Hill, stuff that you're probably used to. Maybe you take that for granted, but those are always fun road trips to Ottawa, obviously, and we do expect a tremendous football game. What is your read on this matchup, and are the Red Blacks sick of hearing about Nathan Rourke? The rest of the country isn't, but is his opposition?
Yeah, I don't know if they're sick about hearing about him. I think they're probably sick about hearing maybe how they've blown opportunities the first couple of weeks, right? And how they dominated the first half in both games against Winnipeg and had a 1-2 point lead to show for it. So I don't think they're too focused on that side of it. I think they're more concerned about just their own play and sorting out all of that. So, how do I see the matchup? I like Ottawa to win this game. And look, you're talking to the Red Blacks broadcaster, so you're going to get I call myself an unbiased homer, so I still like to think that, I give a pretty unbiased view of things, but obviously with a bit of an Ottawa slant. I'll say this. I do think it's a tough match for BC coming off. They played 5 days ago. They're a little bit banged up. They don't have Brian Burnham. They crossed the country yesterday, which is a 3-hour time difference. So there are a lot working against them. That being said, you still have to get it done on the field. I just think from an Ottawa perspective, they're better in almost every department from a year ago. Better at quarterback with Masoli.
And we've lost AJ Jakubec from Ottawa. Hopefully he gets the black screen that we're getting, and he does what he has to do. What does he have to do, Producer Clark, to get back on the air? You're probably talking to him. Yeah, hit refresh. Okay, I'm sure you're telling him that. While we do that, you guys tell me when AJ's back. Phil Thompson's watching in... Oh, we have him back? Okay, sorry. We continue, AJ. We lost you halfway through that. Go ahead.
So my bad. I do this on my phone, and I had a phone call, and for whatever reason, I don't know how that cuts out.
What's her name?
Apparently it does. I think from an Ottawa perspective, they're just better in every aspect from a year ago. So much like Montreal last week, it's not a must-win. There's no such thing as a must-win unless it's an elimination game. But I think from their perspective, they definitely need a win. I mean, they're in Saskatchewan. They're in Hamilton after this. I think they're better than 0-2, and they're just better. They got better running backs. They got better receivers. They got a better O-line than they had a year ago. So this is a team that is much better. I think they're going to challenge for first in the East. But, obviously this is going to be a tough test because BC has looked lights out the first couple of weeks. I'm expecting a great game, some points on the board, but I'll say Ottawa gets the victory.
All right, my friend, while I have you on the line, I can't let you go without asking you two questions. One, you and I, long-time junior hockey guys. Specifically, what did you think about the Memorial Cup story of St. John? And, of course, they spanked Hamilton there in the final last night. What was it, 6-3 the final, I think. But what a tourney.
Yeah, I've said this all week. It's time for a format change. I love junior hockey. Absolutely love junior hockey. But this is 3 times in the last decade. And look, I know the Ottawa 67s. This is before my time in Ottawa. I moved here in 2003. I know the Ottawa 67s lost in the second round in 1999 and ended up winning a Memorial Cup. But it's happening too often. At that point, every team, since the format change in 1983, every team that won from 83 to 98 had at least been in the league final. But, the 3 of the last 9 champions now have had a lengthy break where they lost in the first or second round. And look, great tournament, great teams, all that kind of stuff. But I have a hard time seeing teams go through the gauntlet and winning 16 games. Like we know how difficult it is in hockey when you have to win 16 games and how banged up and beat up your teams are. And meantime, you got another team sitting on the side. Look, St. John deserves a lot of credit, right? That's the format. That's the way it is. But I think it's time for a format change because it leaves a bit of a salty taste in my mouth when it happens too often as it has in the last decade.
I'm sorry, did you suggest what that format change should be, AJ? Did I miss it?
It's not an easy thing to do because you got 3 leagues, right? If you had 4 leagues, it would be a lot easier because you could do some sort of Final Four. With 3 leagues, it's not ideal. Maybe you just have to do away with a host team, right? And I get it. The money is great for whoever hosts and that sort of thing, but I just think it's time for a change. And I think they need to come up with something that rewards the teams that at least go deep. I can live with the fact that a league champion isn't there, but I have a hard time when teams have a month, 6 weeks off, and every other team is battling it out. It just, to me, feels it just feels not right over the last decade. And junior hockey, like you, right? It's in my blood. I've been involved as a player or a broadcaster my entire life, going back to around 1990. I used to care more about I grew up in the 80s in Edmonton, and I was more excited going to games in the late 80s and early 90s in Medicine Hat and Lethbridge and Kamloops and some of the other closest places to Edmonton. I got more excited going to those games than I did going to see the Gretzky-led Edmonton Oilers. So I love the product, but it's just we've had some great Memorial Cups, and this one was pretty good. But again, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, I'd love to have more time, and you know I love you. I couldn't disagree more with you. I don't think they would ever sell tickets for a tournament that the host team wasn't in. They won't do that. And in 30 seconds or less, will there be a new arena in Ottawa? Because I'm seeing your boy Simmers saying it's not going to happen.
I think it's going to happen. Look, the next year is going to be very difficult. It's a hard question to answer in 30 seconds or less. There's a lot of moving parts here. I'll tell you this. On the LRT, there's 2 stops right in front of an open field, which is where LeBreton Flats are. So they put those 2 stops there for a reason, because everyone in the city wants this to get done. It's just a matter of how it gets done. I think there's going to be some emotional times, and we've seen that in places like Edmonton and Calgary in recent years when it comes to new arenas. But I think there is a will to get it done from all sides. The city needs it. The organization needs it. It'll be great for the entire area. So I'll say it will get done.
Awesome. Great job. Thanks for joining us on last short notice. And good luck tonight, man. Have a ball. Appreciate you.
Cheers, Roddy. Always a pleasure.
The great AJ Jakubec. The Super AJ, as a matter of fact, is his Twitter handle. Voice of the Red Blacks, 67s, and Senators pre- and post-host. Also, the Ottawa Blackjacks play-by-play voice, too. We'll be right back with one final segment of the week, Overtime with the Moose. After this, you're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of time. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Calgary, Alberta, here they come. Welcome your Bull Riders!
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
One more time. It is Overtime live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We are in the Event Center, and that's where all the action goes down. The Beach Boys coming July 28th. Nazareth with special guest The Headpins on August 12th. Dancing Queen, a tribute to ABBA, August 13th. The Bare Naked Ladies, August 20th. Terry Fader, September 16th, the winner of America's Got Talent. And Tracy Morgan, No Disrespect Tour, coming September 29th. Go to Go to Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.ca for the complete show schedule and to purchase your tickets. The Moose is here for Overtime. We've got so much going on. I've talked about the commentary today, Moose, is that I miss hockey.
Yes,
I do. But if you're a fan of these sports, you'd be pretty excited. Without hockey, the sporting schedule is somewhat bleak. Here's tonight's schedule. Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Blue Jays and Rays. And I'm sure that'll pull in some viewers. Jays are exciting and winning more often than not. CEBL, 2 games tonight. Guelph at Hamilton, Newfoundland at Edmonton. And then in the CFL, it's BC at Ottawa. It's a 5:30 kickoff. It's summer in Canada. Here we are.
Yeah.
We should be used to it by now.
We should be, but for whatever reason, we never will get used to it completely. It's always sucks when hockey's over, but there's lots to fill the void.
You're probably saying, where's your tennis coverage?
No, it's during the day. It's actually kind of nice when it's over the All England Club in Wimbledon, because that happens starts at 4 a.m. or whatever, the time change, and they're wrapping up right now. Like they're, early afternoon, it's done. So yeah, that's what I'm into over the weekend. But in the evenings, there's no Wimbledon. It's baseball, football, and everything else.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's nice.
Don't mind me. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just reading the viewer comments here. Carlos in Indianapolis says, this is why we tune into the RP show. News like that. I don't think there is any breaking news. Oh, I guess that Trey Ford's going to start at quarterback for Edmonton. That's the breaking news. But Arlen Bruce has come on here, and he said they should go sign Mike Riley. Do you think he'd come out of retirement to do this? I don't know if he would or not.
Not yet. In Edmonton?
Yeah.
Not yet. I don't think so.
If you're Jones, you're not calling
Riley.
Well, no,
if I'm Jones, I might call Riley.
Oh, you are?
See if he's interested. If I'm Mike Riley, I'm not taking the call yet. Because, Edmonton hasn't proven that they're a team that's capable of winning a Grey Cup. If I'm Mike Riley, I'm coming back to try and win a Grey Cup, right? So if Edmonton was a team that, was doing really well and then had trouble at quarterback, if that was the only missing piece, but we don't know that that's the case.
Oh, man, Moose, we could go on for an extra hour here if we wanted to. And this is the one thing that I love about the national aspect of this show is national topics. The Canadian Hockey League, with its 60 teams, goes from Victoria to Halifax.
Yeah.
It covers the whole country, so everybody's invested in major junior hockey. And I will bring up the reason why in a second, because I don't think you heard the tail end of the AJ interview. But Phil Thompson, I apologize. I teased you. I read half your comment earlier. He says, good day. Love the fact that the BC Lions gave WestJet a chance because it's paying off big time. Tonight will be a great game to watch. He said, a hell of a weekend coming up with the Blue Jays doubleheader Saturday, UFC Fight Night Saturday night, Bombers game on Monday. Happy Canada Day to your viewers and happy July 4th to your American viewers. So that's from Phil. Very nice guy in Dauphin, Manitoba, clearly. Kenny Gill still hanging on, watching in Scranton, says, I haven't seen Nathan Rourke play yet, but will tonight. I'm hearing that he has that calmness in the pocket and that it factor. Could you say that he's playing so far like Joe Burrow did last year? I said Joe Burrow earlier in the week.
You made the comparison, yeah. And obviously he's not taken BC to the Grey Cup yet or anything like that, but everything he's done, and it's just kind of the way he conducts himself, right, is just not super outgoing and boisterous, but yet confident and calm, and I think, you see a lot of similarities.
Aura about him. So, yes, Kenny, I mentioned it earlier in the week. Jim Solodjuk watching on YouTube says, enjoyed the show. Have a happy Canada Day and Independence Day. Thank you, Jim. So the reason I brought up the CHL, AJ, who is literally like family to me. I think we might be related. That's how close we are.
Yeah.
He has proposed a Memorial Cup format change. And I laugh because just the way that he talks makes me laugh.
Yeah.
But it is laughable. And Jeff Kabilas, one of our viewers in Winnipeg, says, I like the different host teams for the Memorial Cup. Please don't change. I got to say it again. I've been around that junior hockey loop and just hockey in general for a very long time. The guys that came up with this tournament format are smart guys. It's worked this far. Is it fair that the host teams won? I don't know how many host teams have won. The odds seem stacked against the Regina Pats. We've hosted twice in 20 years and didn't win.
What was his?
Don't tell me it's stacked for the host team.
What did he propose?
That's what I said. Hey, Smarty, you tell me what's better then.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just don't like this format. Right? There isn't a better format.
You talk about tweaking it. The only thing that I've seen that would be a suggestion is not in format of the tournament or the standings, but just going to 2 games a day. So more hockey in a shorter period of time to keep the attention of the audience. That might be the only, but that's not really changing the format. You're still going to play the same schedule. You still play the same teams. The same teams will still get into the tournament. It first of all, too, it doesn't work without the host team being involved. You want to engage the community and sell tickets. You need to have your host team involved or you're not going to sell any tickets.
It's been in all the great communities. The last time God's team, the Regina Pats, won, it was right here in Calgary, 1974. It's been in Brandon. It's been in Shawinigan, where the host team won. It's been in small towns, big cities. It's exactly what you want. And it has to have that host team aspect because nobody in Brandon is going to buy tickets to go watch Hamilton and St. John. They're not going to do it. And as I've said to you many times, I've learned a lot over the last 3 years since I got out of mainstream media that the mainstream media is not business people and they don't understand the need to sell tickets. They don't understand. They don't care. They show up and broadcast the games.
If the home team wins 3-4 years in a row, we can have a summit and be like, okay, this might be a problem because those home teams are winning every year. But that's not happening.
Last minute of play in the RP show.
Just because they're getting to the final and just because they won this year doesn't mean it's happening every single year.
If I'm the Canadian Hockey League, I would listen. They've heard enough belly aching for a lifetime. But with this tournament format for the Memorial Cup, I would just say what I said to AJ. Come to us with a better one and we'll consider it. I mean, I went to Ron Robinson on this show and I said, how about 2 games a day, Ron? I'd like to see that. Well, we talked about it and we realized, no, we want to keep the 2 teams in prime time at night. They're owed that. And I'm like, you know what? At least they talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree, but that's why I can't work in sports anymore. We'll just do our thing over here and let them do their thing over there. Because the 2 games a day thing is a must. How that hasn't happened.
Costs and everything.
Yeah. It's been a fantastic Friday. Great flip-flopping, Clark, getting the guests in and out. Thanks to AJ and Jabari. Thanks to you, Moose. Thanks to you, the viewers. Happy Canada Day early on. And we'll see you Monday for July 4th.
Hoorah! Nerds! Nerds! Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. Hell yes. Beautiful. Hot. That's hot. Hot take. Hot damn.